Hey everybody, my name is Russ. That is Lauren. Welcome to our Sunday vinyl review video. And we are continuing to go through some of the Record Store Day stuff we picked up from this year, Record Store Day 2025. By the time these videos come out, we'll be inching closer to Record Store Day Black Friday, but
time flies.
Yep. We are talking about the Elton John release this year. And I say the Elton John because I believe there was only the one from Elton John, which was a 1 LP live set, Elton John live from the Rainbow Theater. We always go through, whether it's a Record Store Day release or not, what we think of what are the most important points to us, the packaging, the sound, the price, and the value. If you watched our video last week on Oasis, we did not have a good time with that release. The good news is this release is far superior in many ways, in my opinion. And Lauren is the Elton John expert, so she's going to cover a lot more to do with this release than I did. But we'll just kind of go through each thing and I'll give a quick bullet point and then you let me know more as like what you were expecting.
Sure.
Yeah. So packaging wise, I will say the packaging is a little plain Jane on it, but I also, for me, I want to be clear. I don't think this is any, in any way part of the Live at the BBC series or anything like that. But back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were more than a few Live at the BBC albums that came out from Zeppelin and so on. And they kind of had this same theme, like a white background with either sometimes it was a drawing or a live picture or whatever. So, and again, to be clear, I'm not saying this is part of the Live at the BBC series, but the packaging is reminiscent of that for me. Like it's simple, but not to where you go, oh, they didn't put any effort into this.
Yeah, I get that. Like, honestly, I wasn't expecting anything from the packaging of this other than, it having all of the parts that you want it to have, right? Because this, to my knowledge, didn't exist before, so I've got nothing to compare it to, right? So just, this is live Elton I'd never heard before.
So you're way more concerned with the rest of the, as far as sound goes, and again, I'm going to defer to Lauren here. The bands that I really love, that I know what has been recorded and what hasn't been released and whatnot. Anytime any improvement is made on this stuff, I get overjoyed. So with Elton, I don't know what's out there, what's not. So I guess what I'm asking is, have you ever heard this show before?
No,
ever. Okay.
No. And that was what was exciting to me. Because, all right. So for all of my Elton John people out there, you're going to know what I'm talking about here, right? You've got 1770 or 171170 if you're, in England, right? That live thing that he did then, and then you've got the 1986 with the Melbourne Symphony, right? And this is in the middle. This was 1977, so the Elton was not as big as he had been. This is our little Elton lull that happens, right? And what he's doing is it's not Elton in a band. It's not Elton in an orchestra. So like the band was on the first one. The orchestra was on the one after this. This is just Elton and a piano and an occasional person on percussion, right? That's it. And while I was listening to this, the sound of it, I said to you, this is exactly why Elton John was one of the first people to say, when MTV was started their Unplugged, he was one of the first people to say, I'll do it, right? Because this was clearly just him dipping back into some older material, having fun, and just doing what he wanted to do because he figured, I did a whole bunch of stuff. Nobody's really listening right now. Let's just
do whatever.
Do whatever. The
sound quality though, I thought was great. Like there are sometimes some Record Store Day releases where they're like, oh, first time ever released. And then you hear it and you're like, oh, that's because it was never good enough to release. Like either the performance or the audio quality. This is a great performance and great audio quality.
Yeah. And you can absolutely tell that this is Elton in a smaller venue, right? This is, you'd say this a lot. You very much feel like I'm sitting here, Elton's sitting right there playing a piano.
Yeah, the way it's
presented. That's absolutely what it felt like. That's really, really cool.
Price I thought was fantastic. $35 is for a 1 LP set, which we live in an age now where you and I have picked up 1 LP things at the store that are from current artists and then been like $45. Like what? For not
in
even
this economy,
right? And for no special edition or anything, you know. So $35 in the first place, I think is great. And then for it to be an RSD piece on top of that, I think is really reasonable. Like A lot of record companies would have just tacked 10 more bucks on this and called it a day, and been like, yeah, sure, they'll buy it anyways, know. So when it comes to value, then, like for me, a very casual Elton John fan, I would still look at this and go, even if I don't listen to this all the time, there's a lot of value in this because of the price and how good it sounds and the era of which Elton it is. So for you being a much bigger Elton John fan, I have to assume there's value in this for you, but we always comment on it. So,
oh gosh, there absolutely is. And I'll tell you this, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody here at all, but my brain is already swirling because there's some songs that are on this and 11-17-70 and some that are on this and the Live with the Melbourne Symphony. And there's some that are on like all three in some way. So my brain's already like, I need a Venn diagram. I need to do something very like extensive.
Well, and then, me being me, I always want to dissect like which version's my favorite and for what reason.
Why, what's happening here, what's happening. So anyway, like if you love Elton John and you love listening to him live and kind of like the evolution of his live performance, like this is something to have.
Cool. So the value is definitely there.
That's hardcore.
Right on. So as I said at the top, this is our vinyl video for the week. We always have these on Sunday. We have our topic videos on Thursdays where her and I just talk through things that we love about music, and then we have our reaction videos on Saturday. So if you're an Elton John fan or a vinyl collector and this is your first time seeing us, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Besides hitting like on the video, the other thing I would like to hear from Elton John fans, because I'm very remedial on Elton John. Lauren knows a lot more from me. What do you think of this release, or were you able to get it or not? If you weren't able to get it, like, is it something you're going to track down? That type of stuff. So if you would drop a comment and let us know that, we would greatly appreciate that. That is Lauren. My name is Russ. Thank you so much for watching.